South Africa, we should remind ourselves, is in the fortunate position where it has been well represented by international mining firms, with many listed locally, and has historically been able to attract capital and thereby develop the sector. However, the trend of mining production moving to emerging economies or new areas amongst emerging economies will continue. Current exploration projects and investment flows allows some insight into where the mining industry of tomorrow will be. And this indicates areas like parts of Latin America, parts of North America, Oceania, and Africa. I suppose the question that arises for ourselves in this context is, what are we going to do as a collective, as government, as business, and as labor, to attract that investment into our own economy and ensure that both the mining companies or shareholders who want to invest here and ourselves are beneficiaries in this process. I'm sure you've talked about the kind of pressure that our own mining sector finds itself under as a result of the kind of issues that we've had in relation to the labor situation, the rising electricity costs, and infrastructure bottlenecks. I'll come back to all of those in a moment. But we should also not forget the external pressures that this industry is also confronted with, which in a sense constitute structural constraints to the industry. The weak global demand, the lower growth numbers, particularly in China, and the lower commodity prices that have followed those lower growth numbers as well. Many amongst ourselves will say South Africa is well endowed with natural resources. There are some estimates that indicate that we have some $2.5 trillion worth of mineral resources under the soil in South Africa. But the real challenge is, what do you do with those resources? And how do we ensure that we become a competitive environment as South Africa through the efforts of everyone concerned, government, business, and labor, in order to invest, find the right kind of investments in our economy, but also to prevent the shift away from South Africa to other areas in which mineral deposits are also found. So in sum, one of the challenges that we face, if you like, as a mining community, is to confront the reality that the mere existence of mineral deposits no longer guarantees investment in the mining sector or associated sectors. So the real question that all of us must confront is, what are we going to do to attract and retain investment in the mining sector? How do we get around the table and find answers to the difficult questions which say, how do all of us benefit from what emerges from the ground? As government, what do we get as royalties? As workers, what do we get as wages? As workers and communities, what do we get as a social wage? And as shareholders, how do we get fair returns? And as management, what is our take from whatever emerges from these investments?